my energy, full with the wisdom, sense of a rich man, knowledge and the rhythm. This is what I'm using to come up with a style, so I'll interact all together better with the crowd. Nervous for a second and the record starts spinning and I fall into the state of matter what I've just created. Pumping like the doctor, beating to the RE suckers ready to leap up on the tip.
Taking it back a little bit.
So I'll never be regarded as a regular, only just a little bit better than my competitor. You should never underestimate the passion. I hope for the stage, whether I'm cooling or crashing.
Taking it back.
And the concoction created by me when read, you read, E equals the D-O to the C. Knowledge and the talent that my mother has born to her equals an artist that will be born. What is that, Trey?
I don't own the rights to this music. We don't own the rights to this music.
Yeah, I was literally just about to say that.
We're just paying homage to one of the greatest. Don't flag our shit, man. Don't flag our shit. The DOC.
It's like a message that only I can understand. But those who want to comprehend will again be in the midst of a brother. Or like another in any way, because we don't play. Say what the others say. Originality is a must. Whenever I bust, the funky composition is crushed. And I trust in you. Know it when you hear a funky record with potential. We getting hyped with straight rocking the instrumental. Never like what you've heard before and more. Never less. See, I don't best. I mean, I'm like fresh about the freshest. When I'm expressing my thoughts on, Ronnie, you can help but listen up and get caught on. Because I cook when I pick up a pen and begin in the end, it's dope. That's because I want to win. Knowledge and the talent that my mother has born to equals a duck. What is it, Trey?
Yo, man, that's the
We don't own the rights to this music. We don't own the rights to this music. Back out a little bit.
Keeping it dope as long as I can like imagine. Making each record that I do better than the last one.
We don't own the rights to this music. We're going to bring it up to date a little bit. Just one time, for the one time.
Bitch, big dude.
DJ Sir Charles gonna hurt somebody.
Hey, that could be a hook right there.
DJ Sir Charles gonna hurt somebody.
Big dude, big underrated.
Killer Cam 2 official. What's going on, brethren?
Oh man, enjoying my week, man, for sure.
Hey, that's a beautiful thing. How's your week been?
You know what? Surprisingly, it's actually been fantastic. I got rid of a cancer on my crew. You know what I'm saying? Hand clap for that. Officially, Monday he got switched, and yeah, man, he's out of there.
Beautiful.
You know what I'm saying?
Beautiful. You know, I keep forgetting that today is Tuesday, and we kind of pretty much still in the beginning of the week.
Yeah.
But a lot of times the beginning of the week dictates how the rest of the week is going to go. A lot of times.
Exactly.
Yeah. And
That's why I say Monday is always my favorite day, because you know whether you going Monday shows you whether you're gonna be in great moods or you just gonna get fucked.
Yeah. Well, I say stay positive at all times, Brethren. Stay positive at all times. That's what determines the direction of your week. You know.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. Hey, look, man. I'm on a high right now, bro. I've been hitting some major home runs, and that's essentially just comes from staying at back, and I kept swinging. So yeah, man. I'm on a high right now. I'm feeling great. So without further ado, how about we do our little introduction and start the show?
Let's do it, man.
And What up? What up? Welcome back to another episode of Mindfully Misunderstood. I am your host, Sir Charles the God.
And I'm Cam to Official.
Down to the gristle like a referee whistle.
You feel me?
Hey, I could flow 16 off of that, but I'm not even gonna stunt tonight. I ain't even gonna stunt with the 16 bars. You get half a bar. Y'all getting half a bar tonight. So, well, first and foremost, thank y'all for rocking with Mindfully Misunderstood. We appreciate the subs. We ask that you smash the like button on the way in. Please support the stream. It costs you $0.00 to hit that like button. Comment, share, let us know. Hey, and if you bring in smoke, we like smoke. Okay,
Talk
you
that
can bring
talk, George.
Huh? You say what?
Talk that talk, George. Talk that talk.
Oh, hey, we we in the car with the windows rolled up and the heat on, blazing it up because we want all the smoke.
Exactly.
We want all the smoke. So, hey, if at any time we say something that you want to challenge or you want to support, hey, please comment and let me know if you want to be added to the live stream, and we'll patch you in, if you will. So,
Don't be scared.
Don't be scared. So, Cam and I have been talking. We talk a lot about all things that makes a man, and essentially, pain is an inevitable part of life. And pain comes in many forms, right? So
Yes.
we thought this was a very befitting topic to touch on today, simply because, we know men are going through painful situations, be it physical pain, be it emotional pain, or what have you. So, so that being said, we here in the Mindfully Misunderstood University, okay, because we teaching. In Mindfully Misunderstood University, we believe that pain is one hell of a teacher, and it needs to be embraced as such. Right? I mean, we shouldn't avoid it because at the end of the day, there's value in it. And I'm not saying intentionally inflict pain on your goddamn self, but for those y'all.
I think some of us have to, dog, because.
Well,
some of us a little soft out here.
Oh, damn, good. Yeah, well, hey, you might want to cut yourself a little bit. I'm only kidding. Don't cut yourself. But in essence, so we wanted to go through a few things that men deal with that essentially causes some type of pain in life, and how we feel like real masculine men should deal with those things, right?
Mm.
So without further ado, Cam to Official. I hold on. Let me do this. Hold on. Let me see something here. Hold on. 1 second. I'm trying to get our names up here.
Oh, it's all good.
Yeah. But I'm saying, hold on. Oh, hold on. Oh, there we go. Boom. All right, and we're back. So without further ado, Cam, what? Give me something that your most painful experience that you had to go through in life. Now, let me break this down, because I want to ask you about physical pain and emotional pain. What is the most the toughest physical pain you've endured?
Toughest physical pain. Toughest physical pain. That's a good question. I think I would dare to say my toughest physical pain was probably watching my mom or my stepmom's and my dad's marriage. That was my toughest physical pain.
Now, when I say physical, I mean something happened to you physically. Like
you
broke something.
Okay.
Yeah. You ever broke a bone?
No, I've never broken a bone in my body.
Okay, all right.
Toughest physical pain.
Sprained ankle.
I mean, I had
cut yourself.
Maybe in 6th grade, I had a dude step on my ankle or something, but that was about it.
Yeah. Sprained ankle.
I mean, even that. I mean, that I probably was out for like 3 days, and then I was back good again.
Hey, you could have told the people, yeah, I was shot 9 times, and I'm still here. I'm still alive.
Nah, man.
Shot me 9 times, and I'm still living. No.
Yeah,
But-
nah.
But yeah, so a sprained ankle. You ever cut yourself?
Not intentionally. No.
Okay, right. That's what I'm saying. Okay, so you have cut yourself with a knife.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, and because I'm going somewhere with it. Now, how long ago was that? The last time? I mean, it's just
Probably like 10, 15 years ago, maybe.
damn. You've been extra careful since then. Man, I can jug on myself. You know. so let me share with you.
Yeah.
So my worst physical pain was when I broke my thumb on the job, and what happened was I was on a pole. For those of you who don't know, in my former life I was a power lineman. So
I was gonna say you said a pole. You know what I'm saying? Hey.
Let me. I got to clarify. I was not on a stripper pole. Although, I did think about it when funds got low. You know what I'm saying? But all right. But I was on a pole, and I was on the new pole, and I was cutting down the old pole. And long story short, the pole piece, as I was cutting pieces and pushing it over. Long story short, somehow my thumb was resting on a pole step, and the pole piece, it got snagged on a vine or something, came back, and next thing I know, my damn thumb was doing my shit was like sideways. Yeah. My shit was, and I didn't feel it at first. And essentially my crew leader who was on the ground, he was like, "Yo, are you all right?" He knew something happened before I did. I was like, "Shit, oh shit," and I didn't even know it hurt until I looked at it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I didn't
your
realize
it's happened so fast. Your brain didn't realize.
Right. And so that's the point, right? So something, sometimes how things don't really hurt you sometimes until you actually look at it. You pay attention to it. And now I'm looking at it. Now, granted, something was gonna happen. I was gonna feel something because my shit looking sideways. But essentially, that the pain didn't set in right away. It took a minute. Now, had that happened, had you hurt yourself when you were a kid, right? You probably would have thought it was the end of the world. You probably would have passed out, right? And start crying and shit.
Yeah.
But as you get older, you tend to deal with the pain better, physical pain better, right?
Mm-hmm.
Same here, same in this scenario. Whereas when I broke my thumb, my shit was laying sideways. I had been hurt before, so it was like it was no big deal. I had never broken a bone. That was the only bone I ever broke in my body. But what happened when it was sitting sideways like that? I had been in pain before, so it was I knew how to deal with it. So in that instance, what I'm saying is like physical pain was an actual teacher because I learned how to deal with it in the past. Now,
right.
what if I had never hurt myself before? And all of a sudden, I'm 30 years old, because I think it probably happened when I was about 30. I'm 30 years old, and then I hurt myself for the first time in life.
Mm.
Man, I probably would have been pouting, calling for mom and can, you never know.
Yeah, I feel you.
And so that's why I'm saying, even in physical pain, there can be some gems plucked out of there as far as like, how to because it's inevitable. You're going to hurt yourself. Or someone, you're gonna see someone get hurt. Do you remember that time that Mia Disco? No, I shouldn't. Damn, I probably shouldn't. My daughter, your niece, dislocated her elbow. Were you here, or were you already down in St. Louis? You might have been.
I think I probably was going already.
Okay, yeah. But to see that shit, to see her, the bottom part of her arm behind the top part.
Like, oh yeah.
Her mother couldn't see it. She didn't want to look at it. It grossed her out just to look at it. And by me, I trained myself. Dude, I don't know what. Do you look at gross shit on purpose just to?
Yeah.
So, okay, so I thought we talked about this before. It's kind of like a sickness, to where you look at gross shit on purpose so that you can actually stomach the thought of helping somebody in case there's a gross scenario, right? you're gonna freeze
Yeah.
up and you can still act.
Mm-hmm.
Now, so you be watching that gross shit on Facebook and shit? Like,
Oh yeah, yeah.
what's the grossest?
I gotta, you know what I'm saying? Human feces to me will always be hands down. It will always be hands down the nastiest shit you could ever, to me personally, that's like the nastiest shit you could ever encounter.
Yeah.
So like for me personally, like I don't have a problem with poop because I've had to deal with it a lot in my life.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't necessarily have a problem with it.
5 kids.
But for somebody who not used to it, like you automatically like you see it and you like, I ain't touching that.
5 kids, you should be used to shit.
You feel me?
Hey, damn, I just put your business out there. You're like, damn, he can run a half court. For sure. Hey, pull your team up. He got a team for you.
You feel me?
Okay, look, so I watched this video one time, and this woman was sitting in a chair against a brick wall. And well, first of all, before you click on the video, you know how it shows it tells you this video is blocked, whatever. Like you gotta do an extra click to uncover the video.
Mm-hmm.
So I knew it was gonna be some fucked up shit, right? So I click on the video. This woman is sitting against a brick wall in a chair, like a one of them picnic chairs or what have you. I forget what they call it. So she's sitting there, and like 3 men are standing around her talking. And so next thing I know, the men scatter, and boom, a car ran right, smashed her ass up against the brick wall, man. Do you know I watched that like 4 times or more?
Damn.
Now that might seem fucked up that I put myself through that, but I want to be able. So like, if I'm ever in a situation where someone needs help, I don't want to freeze up.
Yeah.
Right. So I don't know why I subject. That's essentially why I train my brain. I subject myself to shit like that. So I don't want to be squeamish.
Yeah.
Now, I know it's different watching somebody on than seeing somebody. I've actually seen some things too.
Yeah.
But that being said, so now second question. Now back to this emotional pain. Now you said your dad's marriage.
Yeah, my dad's marriage for sure. That was a emotional roller coaster for me.
Wait, how old are you? Let's paint the picture. How old were you at the time?
We'll go from 3 to 15.
Damn. Okay. 12 years. Okay. So
Yeah.
what do you want to talk about? Like, you don't have to get like detailed or whatever.
I mean,
what was
I
going
think
on in that situation?
I think the most I went through mentally was seeing and which we talked about it before, but seeing my stepmom like slit her own wrists, you know what I'm saying, and basically, you know what I'm saying, wait to meet her maker, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Damn. Now,
Yeah.
what was that about? I mean, what was going on at the time?
I guess her and my dad, you know what I'm saying, they had a little bit too much to drink, and you know what I'm saying, they was arguing.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess one thing led to another. She stabbed him in the arm with a kitchen knife. And then so before that, I think she put a cigarette out in his face.
Damn. God
And then yeah. So she put a cigarette out in his face, and then she stabbed him in the arm. So he ran downstairs but left me upstairs. So I was like, I was basically left to call the police. So like right after he left, I still had the phone, like the house phone in my hand, for those of us who, you know what I'm saying, don't remember what a house phone is. But I had the house phone in my hand, and she goes back into, you know what I'm saying, the room or whatever, and she flings the window open and breaks the glass. And she takes a piece of the glass and she just holds it real tight, and you can see the blood dripping from her hands. and she goes one wrist, grabs the other one, two wrists, and she drops the glass outside, and she just lays on the bed bleeding out. So I had to call 911 and, you know what I'm saying, basically like hold her wrist until they got there.
What the hell? Wait, how old are you again at the time?
That was 2004, maybe 3, 4. So I was probably, I don't know, 8 or 9, 9, 10 probably.
Whoa. So, well, first of all, I want to know, and maybe it's not important, but I want to know. So, Power to People want to know, what the hell did your daddy do at the time? What did he do that made her so upset?
Honestly, I don't know. I never knew the premise of the arguments. I just knew that when my dad got drunk, he wasn't the nicest guy.
Okay.
A lot of the stuff that he would say and do was very, very unwarranted. So the reaction to his actions, I mean, you know, at the time I didn't really know what was going on because, you know, it was always either said while I was outside of the room or I wasn't at home. So I would come in to them already being at level 10. So I don't know. I don't necessarily know what they were arguing about. I just know like from 3 to 15, like I had to call 911 starting when I was 3 years old.
And how often? I mean, you saying so how often was something popping off?
Probably like once or twice a week.
God damn. You saying for 12 years?
Once or twice a week.
Right. So we know that had to have an effect on you. So now, that being said, how did that affect you, and what lessons did you garner from that experience?
Well, like everybody knows, you always have a parent that shows you what you do want to be and what you don't want to be. Mm-hmm. I had 2 parents that showed me what I don't want to be. So my dad was a drinker and he was a smoker. I never had the curiousness to drink, and I never had the curiousness to smoke. I always thought that those were 2 really bad habits that would lead me to where he was. And I was always really fearful of the fact that, you know, if I did those things, that I would basically, you know, go out the way that my dad went out. So
real quick, just to add context, so I know the story.
Yeah.
But just so people know. So your dad essentially passed from
so my dad had colon cancer when he was 40. Mm-hmm. He lived with that until he was 62, till the day that he died.
Okay.
So colon cancer actually could have been caught earlier. And he actually could have beat it if he were to slowly, from what I understand, the doctors were saying, if he would have cut out smoking and drinking and just cut it out in moderation, he would have been able to live a little longer. Okay.
So that definitely transition into another topic that I wanted to bring up. But so now, and it is crazy because I have Cam and I hung out quite a bit, and I tried to get him to drink, and my man won't drink with me, man. Dang, man.
It's not. Hold on. It's not that I won't drink. I drank a little bit in high school. My thing is, I don't like feeling inebriated in any shape or form. I mean, I did weed a couple times in my life, and even that to me is like, if I'm not around the right people, I don't you know what I'm saying, there's only a few people in my life that I actually trust around me. So if I'm not in that right setting, I'm definitely not. I feel like that's me purposely being off my square. So
Mhm.
I definitely won't do it.
So essentially, that's a valuable lesson that you learn from that experience, which I would call it traumatic. Those 12 years of feuding going on that you're witnessing firsthand, and what you learn from that is, hey, alcohol is probably not a good idea. And you know what? And here's the thing, man. I admire that. And in a moment of transparency, uh, so in within my core group of guys, they're probably 10 of us. Two of my guys don't drink, and I at all, and I admire it because I essentially acquired the taste for alcohol when I was in sixth grade.
Mhm.
That's crazy. It might sound crazy, but it's more common than we think, and it's not just happening in Black America. It's actually happening across America, where
Mhm.
people are introduced to alcohol early. Now, one thing that I don't do is I don't get inebriated. I essentially, well, I used to though, but I don't drink to the point where I'm out of control. And in fact, even back in the days when I did overindulge, I would just go to sleep. I was never like a belligerent guy.
Yeah.
I'm a sleepy. Yeah, and here's the thing. Ironically, my parents don't do anything. They don't smoke. They don't drink. And so I didn't have that lesson before me, which I think again in that situation, that pain of watching that growing up, you use that to say I'm going to do better.
Yeah.
Yeah. So and now I didn't. I thought you would mention the fact that your dad died, while you were. How long, man? How long? Oh, wait, how old are you?
20.
How old are you?
So when he died the weekend that my daughter was actually being born.
Damn.
So that Friday, um, he left me a voicemail saying that he was going into the hospital.
Mhm.
And the funny part about that is he was actually going into the hospital to get sober. But they told him the only way that you could do that is if we put you in a induced coma. So basically, when he went into the hospital, he had it was like a 0 point something percent of calcium that he had in his body, and your body needs a certain level of calcium in order to, function.
Mhm.
And my dad he never drank water. I don't think my dad from 40 to 62, he probably had maybe a bottle.
Damn.
Maybe. I've never seen my dad drink water ever. Even when he was hot, I don't think I've ever seen my pops drink water.
Mm.
But he had no level of calcium in his body. When he lived with me a couple years before he passed away, he actually had a stroke that I witnessed. That I thought he was just like twitching in his sleep, but it was an actual stroke. Now, I mean, obviously now I know it, but I didn't know it back then. So after that, he kind of developed like a limp, if you will. So, long story short, he went into the hospital. They told him that the only way that you could get sober is if we put you in an induced coma, because if you try to do it awake, basically his heart would explode. Yeah.
Wait.
So,
So is that due to the alcohol dependency?
mm-hmm.
Damn, I didn't know. So
Yeah.
you could be so dependent on alcohol that your body will literally
So
shut
my
down or some
dad,
shit.
yeah, my dad was a functioning alcoholic. Like my dad could drive. I mean, he drove a bus
Mm-hmm.
inebriated for, you know, almost 25 years. So, he was a better driver drunk than he was actually sober.
Mm-hmm.
So, um, when they put him into the coma, basically after I want to say maybe 14 or 16 hours, all of his organs start shutting down because they no longer had to work by themselves. they had something relieving that pressure. And then after that, so that Friday he called me, left me a voicemail like nothing ever happened, but I knew he knew that it was time. So he left me a voicemail on that Friday. That Saturday night, my daughter was coming in, he was going out. So before Sunday morning, she called me at like 11 that night saying that he had no brain activity.
Mm-hmm.
So he was gone.
How you finding that out? How did that feel for you? Did you feel like, did you expect it, or was this totally unexpected?
No, I knew it would happen eventually. I can't say that it didn't hurt, because it definitely did. I talk to my dad every day, regardless of how I felt about him personally. My dad has always been a hero in my eyes, regardless of the alcohol, all of that. I never cared about that.
Mm-hmm. He was super involved.
Yeah, you feel me? So I had a very, very present father.
Mm-hmm.
His passing wasn't the part that hurt me. I think when I think back to it, I think the voicemail hurt me the most, because it wasn't until after he passed that I realized, like, his voice and how he explained things in that voicemail, that was his coded way of telling me, like, yo, like, his exact words before he hung up that phone was, if nobody loves you, I'll always love you. So it was like hearing him say that, because he only says that, like, if he feels a certain way, you know what I'm saying? So, like, as a, like, father to father, I can hear that in his voice, and it was just kind of like, damn, he knew that he was getting ready to go, but he couldn't necessarily say that to me.
Mm-hmm.
He wanted it to be like a normal voicemail, like, yo, I don't want nothing, I'm just checking on you, I'm just letting you know, like, yo, I'm going into the hospital, I'll see you when I get out.
Really quickly, salute Sir Harold. Thank you for being in the building. Born Hustlers, thank you for checking in. I appreciate you.
For sure.
Thank you for your support. So now let me ask you a question. That pain of losing your father, and I'm gonna say some things, and some people may say that I can't actually speak on it, because my parents are still both alive, and I'm thankful for that. But that pain, and I'll say my piece afterwards. But that pain that you that you felt from losing your dad, what did you do with that? I mean, did that spark anything in you? In the way of maybe being healthier for your kids, or so you can stick around.
For sure.
Like what? Like
first and foremost, I always think of health. That's like my biggest thing, because I have the luxury of growing up with my kids, right? There's not a lot that I can't do with them. Mm-hmm. He kind of instilled in me just being there, sometimes is enough. You don't necessarily have to do nothing. You ain't even got to say nothing. Just sitting in the same room watching games, you know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes that's just enough. So it kind of, in a way, it showed me just how to be a better father. And I still, even now, like, I ask my kids, like, yo, I'll ask my kids straight up, like, yo, am I doing enough? Like, what is it that I could do more of that you want from me? Is it, you know what I'm saying? If it's time, we can make time. If it's, you know what I'm saying, you want to go to a grocery store with me by yourself, because you know what I'm saying? Each kid has a different personality, obviously, and everybody wants something different from you. So you have to be able to cater to each individual. You know what I'm saying? So just in that aspect, man, I think I wasn't necessarily, you know what I'm saying, hurt that he was gone, because I kind of was ready for it. I just think that, like, I thought, like, now looking back at it, I love the fact that I got to have some peace knowing that, like, he left, but my daughter came in. You know what I'm saying? So that to me was really, really powerful, because I still felt like, in a way, like I still got to see my dad and my daughter.
Wow. You know, okay. I want to go back a little bit, and then we could jump back on this the death of loved ones thing, because I really want to drill down on that. But I don't even know. Yeah, I'm going to be very brief. I'm going to be very vague, if you will. And we talked about this before.
You might as well just say it, man.
I'm not gonna front. I ain't gonna front. I'm the worst emotional pain that I've ever felt in my life.
Talk about it. Talk about it.
That was my first divorce. It was my first divorce. And you know, I didn't, to be honest with you, I just didn't know how to deal with two people not being on the same page, who were just on the same page times prior. And man, that fucked me up. Essentially, it, you know, I slipped into a little depression or what have you. And, but one thing that I learned from that is that people can grow apart and still be respectful. People can grow apart and still, and it's just life. You know what I'm saying? It's not guaranteed that you will be on the same page your whole life. And and so what I did was, during that time, well, after I climbed out of depression and all that shit, I started to focus on what were the gems that I could extract from those years. And at the end of the day, I mean, I had a lot of good times. And you know, I still got extended family from that relationship, and it's still to this day that I love and that love me. And you know, so it wasn't all bad. But at that time, I thought, hey, it felt really bad. And so one thing I learned from that experience was that, you know, pain needs to be categorized to, how should I say? I guess if something is temporary and external, it's probably not worth so much focus. You know, it's temporary and external, and that's essentially how I climbed out of that. I kept telling myself, this is temporary.
So would you say that depression was a great motivator for you?
Well, I will say, at the time I didn't value it, but I'm glad at this point, I'm glad it happened to me, because now I know what it feels like. And so the gem that I got from that is I can talk to someone else about what depression feels like, because it was painful for me to take a fucking shower. Like, I didn't even want to shower, bro. And I'm one of the cleanest niggas anybody will ever meet. I did not want to take. It was hurtful. The water touching my skin was like, oh my god, it hurt. Right?
That's wild.
And so the thing about it is, what I extracted from that was the fact that, also too, I had understood that no, I'm not the only person that goes through shit like this. So and so here's what happens too. You get men out here who are weak-minded, who be in those situations, and that's their world. And so now, if their world is collapsed, they not only slip into a depression, but they actually go and I don't know if I could say this on YouTube, but whatever, hell, we ain't monetized yet. So, but they actually they could go into a goddamn murder suicide type of situation, right? And that's the weak-minded men that we have out here. That they're so engrossed in something outside of themselves, and when that's taken away, they feel like they have nothing, right? And so at that point, I vowed never to be that person. That I'm so engulfed in something or someone to whereas I would want to do harm to myself, even if I'm neglecting myself. I'm calling that doing harm. I'm not going to be that person that I'm going to do harm to myself because of what someone else did.
Yeah.
Or, you know what I mean? So it was valuable, and I don't, a lot of people say that situations like that make a man emotionally unavailable. However, I would dare to say men definitely still feel emotions. It's the way that we choose to express those emotions. And first of all, we ask ourselves, is it worth expressing? Is it worth expressing? What return is it going to yield me? And essentially sadness, pouting, complaining, all of those are actually, they yield negative results. They don't build anything.
They're counterproductive.
Yeah, that's the word I look. See, my man, counterproductive. It's counterproductive to focus on negative. So that's what, during that process, I had to learn to extract the gems out of that situation. What can I find beneficial in this? And so from that moment forward, I vowed to find value in every pain I feel. And in fact, I've even actually put myself in pain purposely. Now, what does that look like? It may look like me doing things the hard way, because I know anybody can do it the easy way. You and I, we do the cold shower thing, because it's a reminder that comfort is never the goal. So,
right.
So essentially, you start the day with a cold shower to let me know that, hey, moments of discomfort might pop up. I want to be able to deal with it if it arises.
Yeah.
And so that essentially what I extracted from that situation, and I could actually use that to talk to men who may be going through the same thing, to say, hey, bro, it's not the end of the world. I know it feels bad. It does not feel good. I'm not ever saying that you don't feel. Yes, you're going to feel shit that doesn't feel good. That's what the pain is. Now, just like E.T. Eric Thomas say, you already in pain, get something from it.
Yeah. So that I'm glad you said that, because I wanted to ask you, like, personally for you, with that being your biggest, like, emotional barrier that you had to overcome, what are some of the ways that, like, you had to accept that failure?
Well, first of all, I had to stop looking at it as a failure.
Mm-hmm.
I essentially started to look at it as something that just happens. And it not only happens to me, it happens to millions of people, if not billions of people around the world. And I am not the only one. I am just a ant in the grand scheme of things. Secondly, I had to understand that we grow through what we go through, and essentially, perhaps I kept telling myself, maybe I'm supposed to be able to talk to people about this shit or something, share my experience, or maybe I'm supposed to write a book. I don't know what, but adversity is just a part of life. And so that's what essentially led me. That's what essentially led me on the journey of Stoicism. I don't know why I was on YouTube, studying ways to deal with certain shit, and then I stumbled upon Stoicism, and essentially, what happened was it led me down this magnificent rabbit hole of information on how to deal with things that happen in everyday life.
Mm-hmm.
So that's when I really started, like, turning up like certain discomforts in my life, such as going to the gym, right? You go to the gym, you know, you go to the gym, you work out, it is uncomfortable. You put yourself in that situation. Why? Because you see that there's a gain to be had, right? And it's the same thing emotionally. It's essentially, I had to learn that that there's value in that situation, and I just need to find it and use it as a teacher.
Yep.
So it's not a failure. I mean, essentially, I was on someone else's platform, and I'm open, but I'm not too open to the point where, how should I say, I'm not going to disparage anyone else, because I'm gonna tell you, like we were that in that situation, we were young, we were both young, we did some crazy stuff to where, you know, we both needed to grow up, but you know, at the end of the day, you know, people can really still be good people, and you just don't jail. So it happens. So
Yeah. I mean, I always tell people, you know what I'm saying, sometimes when you in relationships, and some people get mad because they're like, well, you know, this person didn't do this for me, and I always tell people, certain people bring certain things out of certain people. Meaning, you know what I'm saying, if you didn't open up the car door before, but you opening up the car door now, there's something about that lady that may, you know, warrant you to do something like that.
Yeah.
You
For a fact.
So I always go back to that. But I did want to ask you, what are 5 areas that you view right now for your personal growth?
5 areas that I do what?
5 areas that you look at right now for your personal growth.
Oh, okay. 5 areas. Okay. First and foremost, I try to work on my brain, my mind. What I consistently feed my mind, and essentially, I don't watch TV.
Okay.
If I'm not learning something on YouTube, essentially I'm reading books. If I'm not doing those two, then I try to have an intellectual conversation with brothers such as yourself, Brother Sir Hale Speaks, and the others in the YouTube streets, where, you know, we can have conversations that actually challenge my thinking, and I can learn from them. So my brain. Secondly is my body, right? To whereas, you know, I do try to do things I can to stay fit, exercise, and I try to eat right. Now, I'm not saying I could do a lot better. There's a lot of room for improvement.
Yeah.
But I certainly could I certainly try to pay attention to what I do with my body. So I try to train, exercise, or what have you, and eat right. The third thing I do is I try to put myself in a position to keep that bag up. You know, I mean, at the end of the day, money's power, right? And I like power. It's not just to use it over people, but I like power because my father still says, hey, when you got money in your pocket, you can tell people to kiss your ass. you know, hey, hold on one second. Hold on. Let me turn this heat down right fast. Hold on. It's hot in the motherfucker. Yeah, hold on.
That's messed up.
All right.
So,
and we're back.
All right.
So my mind, my body, my bag, essentially my spiritual awareness, I should say. Now, I don't know if I try to, you know, I'm not a Bible thumper. I'm not your conventional Christian or what have you. But however, I do read the Bible, but I also read the Quran. I also read the Tao Te Ching. I also read, I also read the Meditations, you know, and I read, you know, so those spiritual books to actually keep me, to keep my spiritual mind on track, if you will, in a way of meditation and understanding that there is a higher power. Call it what you want, the all, God, the ancestors, whatever you call it, it is, and we all know that it is. So we call, you know, the all. So I try to stay in tune with that on a spiritual level, and also too, The fifth thing I try to do is I try to cultivate healthy relationships. I try to cultivate healthy relationships because independence is great, but interdependence is the ultimate goal for me, and essentially that's your network, right? And I try to get out and meet people and forge relationships, and it's proven to be very helpful in other areas of my life in the way of business or what have you. And so essentially those are the 5 areas that I try to focus on: health, wealth, and relationships, spirituality, and the mind, as far as like the way I think.
I'm glad you said that last point. I'm a backtrack real quick.
Mm-hmm.
The second part of that, how do you know when you surround yourself with the right people?
Ooh. Well, first and foremost, are you the smartest person in the room? Now, I'm not saying if your day ones are all of lesser intelligence, I'm not saying don't be around them. But I'm saying you might want to minimize that interaction.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Are they pouring into you? Do they help you grow? Are they there for you when you need them? Perhaps that's with your day ones, they may be there for you when you need them, and vice versa. Like I always say, the best relationships are those relationships where you go hard for each other. I don't care if it's a work relationship, a friendship, a family relationship, a romantic relationships. When you go hard for each other, it's like, and I literally have a handful of people that I know would go hard for me.
Yeah.
And those are a part of my core circle. So, I mean, when you start looking at people sideways, like, man, I know darn well you wouldn't do what I'm doing for you. You start to feel like you're being used, and essentially, you feel like, man, you need to switch up your circle. It's not growing you. So everybody, I say this: everybody in your life is either an asset or a liability. And if you are unsure about which category they fall in, all you gotta do is, are they an asset? Then if they're not, then they're automatically a liability. I wouldn't give a damn if they're not doing nothing, just sitting there. If they're seeking your time and your attention, then they're taken away from you. They're not reciprocating. So that's what I would say. That's how I would know if I'm in the right circle of friends. Or not. Yeah. Now, I wanted to get in something, unless you had another point you want to bring up. Okay. All right. So I want to touch back on this death piece. Because I am a practitioner of Stoicism, a student of Stoicism, if you will. And one thing that the Stoics teach is called memento mori. And I think that's Italian or some shit, for remember you will die. Remember you will die. And so I think about death every day. Essentially all day long. Now, this is not to be morbid though. This is not to be morbid. It's not to be, because I personally believe death is equally as natural as birth. But a lot of people don't think like that. But if it wasn't equally as natural, then why does everybody have to go through those two things? Everybody who is born has to die. You're not making it out alive. You're not making it out alive. Mm-hmm. So if billions of people have gone before me in ways that largely were outside of their control, then for me, I'm accepting of the fact, and this is cringy for a lot of people. I'm accepting of the fact that death will befall me at some point, and death will befall my loved ones at some point. It just is what it is. So now, that being said, so studying Stoicism has taught me that we don't belong to each other, right? So like even my kids, right? And I love my kids. You know how I feel about my kids.
Yeah, for sure.
So we don't belong to each other. My kids don't belong to me, because when something belongs to you, you hold on to it until you're ready to let it go. However, the mindset the mindset of Stoics is we belong to nature. So just like we have very limited control of how and if our children are born. So like let's just say, just for sake of numbers, there are 1 million things that need to go right for you to have your children. For you to have your children with your wife, right? 1 million things need to go. You're only contributing to about 30,000 of them. The lady's contributing to about 30,000 of them, and the other 940,000 things are nature, just nature taking its course for the baby to be born. So essentially, even a child being born is outside of your control necessarily. So that being said, if you already know that you're not in control of your children being born, you're not in control of when they leave either. Here's the reason why I think about death every day, all day, is because I want to enjoy the moments that we have with each other. Right? I want to enjoy the moments because I'm not looking at it like we got all kinds of time. I'm looking at it like time is limited. Let me enjoy the time we have together, because I never know at what point, because nature allows us to share paths for a time, and then at some point nature says one of us have to veer off the path.
Yeah.
Right. And that's just the cycle of life. So in essence, and I'll yield the floor when I say this. So in essence, and I want to show a quick clip really quickly for people who aren't really aware. In essence, that's why sometimes I do things for my parents when I really don't feel like doing it. Right. I want to be able to show them love while I have time. You know, the winter's coming here, so I'm gonna be back plowing that damn snow out the driveway. You know, but that's my way of showing them love when I have time.
Yeah.
I have time.
Yep.
Another thing that I do is I don't mind getting on the dance floor, because Charlie Cook is Sir Charles the God is gonna get on the floor and boogie. God damn it, because I don't know how long I'm gonna be here. And the one thing I want people to know is that I ain't never been scared to get on the dance floor. Now, do I know I can dance? I don't know. Maybe not to some people, but I'm gonna get out there and do my thing. I'm gonna do my thing.
Hey, you a wild boy.
So I will say this, and that's why I'm saying some people may say I'm not qualified to really talk about it, but I know at some point my parents and I have to part ways. That's just the reality of it. And so meanwhile, at this time, I try to make sure I show them love. I mean, I just went over there and talked with them for a few hours, man, the other day. I didn't feel like it, but I know they like seeing baby boy. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
I'm gonna holler at them. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna do the things my mama asked me to do, or what have you. And just so while we have time and we're sharing this path, I can show her love. Because and that's the thing, when people think you have time. Oh, I got time. I do it. I got time. You don't. One of the most arrogant things you could say is, "I'll see you tomorrow." Who says that tomorrow? Who you know what I mean? It's not. So that being said, look, I want to play this clip from about the Stoic philosophy of dealing with death, and then I'll ask your what you think really quickly. Hold on. Boop, 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 boop.
Perhaps the greatest motivation in life can come from the seemingly bleak. Memento mori, translated from Latin, is to remember that you must die. Seneca once said, "You live as if you were destined to live forever. No thought of your frailty ever enters your head, or how much time you've already gone by, you take no heed." Society has been good to us. Gone are the days of the Black Death. Gone are the days of the pillaging of villages, the chaos of barbaric violence. There are no lions in the bushes, no worry of contaminated water. There is only you and your Starbucks coffee. You go through the motions of a safe life. Listen closely. You might be far removed from the chaos of prior generations, but you are still immortal. Death is a foreign concept to you, and yet it is the only thing certain in your life. To think about your death has been branded as dark, a truly morbid act. Society does not encourage it, for death is an illusion, a thing of movies and plays and drama, and still the clock ticks on. Still the day draws closer for you to leave this life. This causes cognitive dissonance, a battle within your own mind. You see, on one hand, we can ignore the simple yet all-encompassing fact of transience. We can go on waiting in line for days to get the latest iPhone. We can keep watching hours upon hours of Seinfeld reruns, numbing ourselves with drugs and alcohol on the weekends, thinking that we will live forever. Or we can accept the reality of impermanence and allow it to scorch the fire in our belly. Allow it to provide context on what is insignificant and what is truly important. Provide clarity on what to focus on and what to omit. And allow us to fully grasp the profundity of the human experience. To chase every dream we have without a strand of doubt. For how can we be scared when we know that our time is limited? Now, it was Ernest Becker who said, man is literally split in two. He has an awareness of his own splendid uniqueness in that he sticks out of nature with a towering majesty. And yet he goes back into the ground, a few feet in order blindly and dumbly to rot and disappear forever.
Now, hey, his voice makes it sound like a scary movie. I'll throw a link. I'll throw a link in the description to that video if you guys want to watch it in its entirety. But essentially, he's saying the same thing that you and I always talk about. Life is I wouldn't say it's short, but tomorrow's not promised. And that's why it's incumbent upon us as men, especially, to utilize the idea of death to get things done right now. A lot of people don't have life insurance on themselves or their children because they think that they're not forward thinking to think that death will happen, or you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And so that's why when you're forward thinking and you know that death will rear its ugly head, if you think it's ugly, then at some point, it is incumbent on you as a man, especially, to get things in order.
Yeah.
So that being said, you have any final thoughts as we can wrap the show up?
Man, I'm a steal the saying from you, man. Just be good to good people. That's it. That's what I'm gonna leave y'all with. Just be good to good people, man, because you never know who you gonna need.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And you never know, you know what I'm saying, who you might run into that you was, you know what I'm saying, a butthole to. So just always have a level of respect and always come from a place of love.
Absolutely, absolutely. Words of wisdom from the wise, Cam 2 official. Clapping it up.
Appreciate it.
And also that being said, listen, I would say, essentially, I think it is incumbent upon men to run towards those things that make you uncomfortable. Now, I'm not saying run towards death. No, not at all. But I am saying that a man that seeks comfort is essentially looking to be off of his purpose. And when you embrace discomfort, pain, and use those things to push you to the next level, then and only then, in my opinion, can you actually achieve becoming the highest version of yourself. It is wild to me to see men go to work and come straight home and play that game for 8 hours, or watch sports 8 hours until they pass out and go to sleep. And there are things to be done, and then they look at other people living life and they get jealous. I think the first person I heard say this, I think, was P. Diddy, but I'm sure it's not his saying. He says, we all get 24 hours in a day. We all get 24 hours in a day. And I don't give a damn if you're hurt. I don't give a damn if you're uncomfortable. Use that as fuel to push you into the next level.
Yes, sir. Everybody get a chance and a choice.
Well, yeah, every day you get a chance and a choice. Well, hey, this has been another episode of Mindfully Misunderstood. We ask that you smash that like button. Come on, give it a smash. It don't
Make
cost
sure y'all
you
hit that subscribe button, man, because guess what? That shit is free.
free 99. And listen,
Free,
it is
man.
disrespectful. It is disrespectful. If you can help someone out for free and you don't, I would dare to say something's mentally wrong with you. You can help somebody for free. It don't cost you nothing, just a little.
Yeah, make sure y'all hit that like button, man, for
Yeah.
sure.
And that being said, yeah, this has been another episode of Mindfully Misunderstood. Pardon me, a little gaseous. Another episode of Mindfully Misunderstood. I am your host, Sir Charles the God.
And I'm Cam 2 Official.
Down to the gristle. I gotta say that every time. Yes, sir. It's been another one, and we out, family. Peace.